I don't know if it's just because I'm getting older or what, but man, 2021 flew by. Happy New Year! As we dive into the new year, I really want to sit and talk about a few things. I want to talk about reflecting, why I feel like it's important to reflect the time that has passed, the year that we just went through, how I personally do my reflections, and what that process looks like, and ultimately setting goals for the new year. I think it's critical that we reflect and take time to really look about what's gone on. I heard a long time ago, you inspect what you expect, right? So for the priorities that you have in your life, if left unchecked, sometimes we could be doing worse than we thought we were, or we could be doing a lot better and not give ourselves that recognition. So what I do personally is I use a planner called Passion Planner. If you go on their website, you just Google it, you'll find a spot. You can pay for them if you're in a tight spot and you can't afford it. They even let you do free downloads. So I actually have the downloaded version on my iPad. It's easy to use, and I can just use the pencil to write into it. One less thing to carry around. Let's start with the first point, which is why I feel like it's so important to reflect. I think if you care about anything in any area of your life and you don't take the time to look into it, it could very easily get away from you. I heard a long time ago that people never get off track a mile at a time. People always get off track an inch at a time until one day you look up and you're a mile off. And for me, that quote always stays so near to me because we're people, and human nature is just to take the path of least resistance. And I feel like if you don't look at stuff, you could miss it. You could either miss some of the growth you had, or you could not take the time to appreciate some of the things you conquered and kicked ass with this past year. So whichever case it is, I think it's important to take some time, get the mental reset, and just lock in on what's happened. That way we can learn the lessons we need to learn, and we can apply them to the future. So let's talk about how I do my reflections, right? I use this app, or I use this planner called Passion Planner. I didn't really use the planner much at all this year, but what I do use is the reflections that are in it. And for those of you that are looking for a solid planner, I really like this one. Again, it's called Passion Planner. Just Google it, it'll come up. If you want to buy a hard copy or a physical planner, you can. But I really wanted to go through some of the questions and some of the items that they pose in the reflection piece, which I really enjoy. I'm not going to read through my answers personally, just because I feel like some thoughts, I put a lot of my life online, but some of these thoughts are really personal to me, and I'm going to keep them to myself. But I want to share the questions with you in the event that you'd like to in the event that you would like to do some reflecting this Sunday, going into the new year, going into the first week of the year. So let me go through some of these. The first question is, from a scale of 1 to 10, how do you feel overall about this past year? Next question is, what advice would you give yourself at the beginning of the year? What were the 3 biggest lessons you learned this past year? And what is one way to incorporate these lessons into your life now? For this question is specifically for people that track a calendar or keep a journal. It says review your journal or planner for the past year and assess your priorities. Are you happy with how you spent your time? If not, what steps can you take this year to adjust them? I really like this question because if you're anything like me, I could be super self-critical, and I just really don't take the time to acknowledge some of the things I probably should. So this question says, how are you different between this year and the last? Who or what are you especially grateful for this past year? Name 3 things you can improve on next year, and what are the concrete actions you can take to work towards these improvements? In addition to those questions, I always like to visit a couple other items, right? I like to look at, just like it asks you to rate your overall, how you felt like your overall year was, I like to do that in different categories. So for me, I'll share these thoughts with you guys. For me, the first category is, my physical health. How do I feel, scale of 1 to 10 on my physical health this past year? And I would say probably an 8.5 maybe. I'd probably say an 8 or 8.5. Honestly, I'm really happy with where I'm at physically right now. I'm in the best shape of my life, I feel like. I still need to hit some cardio, knock down some of the holiday food, but overall, I'm in a really good spot, and my physical health has been a huge priority for me, and I think it definitely shows. The next category is my spiritual life. For those of you that know, I'm a Christian, and man, God has done amazing things in my life, and He's really taken care of me. And for that, honestly, I feel like I could step up. I feel like, I regularly attend church. I need to be more consistent with my ties, and I need to be consistently going to church every Sunday. It's been, you know, I have moments where I go for, you know, months straight, and then I have moments where I miss 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and it just depends. So that's really a big priority for me going into the new year. I really want to make sure that, you know, I'm giving God His time, and I'm going to church. I'm plugging into church and being faithful with my tithes. That's a big priority for me this year. The next area I look at is, you know, my personal relationships, right? How is my connection with my close friends and my family, and how would I rate that? And I feel like I'm in a really good spot. I feel like I would say like a 9, honestly, for my close relationships, because, man, if you knew me years ago, I did network marketing for a while, and I think at that point in my life, I really just focused everything on business and work, and I did not put a lot of time into family, friends, and things like that. And, you know, I think everything happens for a reason, and I don't regret it, but it's really helped me appreciate how much my family and friends mean to me. And I think it's so important to keep good people around you. So I'm really happy where that's at right now. The last thing I look at is finances, right? I can confidently say I'm probably in the best position I've ever been, financially speaking. And for those of you that don't know, I'm sure I'll make a separate video on it, but I haven't closed. I'm in contract on my first investment property, so look out for a video to come on details, and I'm sure I'll document more along those lines. But we're subject to close in around May or June of this year. Oh man, this year, May or June of this year now. So it's really exciting. I feel like financially I'm in a great spot right now, but this is the year to crank it up, and I'm setting up some pretty lofty goals. So I'm excited to share that with you guys. And that brings us to the last topic, which is goal setting. I read once, if you go to work on your goals will go to work on you. If you go to work on your plan will go to work on you. Whatever good things we build end up building us. So when it comes to goals, you know, I think a few things are important. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you what needs to be important for you. I think that's for you to decide. But I do think it's important to set yourself up two different kinds of goals. You need to set yourself some long-term goals, right? Like, what do you want to have at the end of this year? What are you shooting for in 3 years, in 5 years? You also want to set yourself up some short-term goals. Hey, what do you want to accomplish in January? What do you want to accomplish by the first quarter, by the 6-month mark, by Q3, by Q4? And break those goals down. Any major goal you have, whether that's a 5, a 3, or a 1 year goal, you can break it into smaller chunks to make it mentally more attainable for you to do. I think that's super important. You know, I set goals in multiple areas of my life. Whatever goals you set, I think if you set 1, that's fantastic. If you set 10, that's amazing. But just set something, because I heard a long time ago from a speaker, and he said the thing that's important about goals is what they make of you, because goals are designed to push you. They're designed for you to have to grow and change and develop to become the person that's going to be required to achieve that goal. And if your goals don't require you to change and to transform and to get better, then you either have some really bad goals or you just don't have any. And I guarantee you, nobody watching this video right now is in that category. All of you guys are focused on getting better, focused on leveling up, and I'm here for it. I'm in the same boat with you guys. So the thing I would challenge you is set goals that require you to change. Set goals that you today, as who you are, could not get them done, because it's going to require some growth and it's going to require some intention. Overall, I know this was a short video. I really just wanted to get out here and, you know, wish you guys a happy new year. Share some thoughts and share some of the thoughts and experiences or processes I go through when I'm closing out the year. But at the end of the day, it's go time. So we got a lot to accomplish this year. I'm super excited. I'll be putting up some more content just to keep you guys in line with some of the things that are happening in my life right now. I'm actually about to move. My lease ends in like 2 weeks, so that'll be fun. That'll be a whole separate video, so I'll get there. But until then, you guys, Happy New Year. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed the content, drop a like. If you enjoyed the content, drop a like, drop a comment. Man, one thing I'll say before I end it out, actually, I would love to be able to go back to this video and to go back to this video and look at some of the goals that we had set out together and to see where we came from. I'll put a couple of my goals in the comment section that I have for this year. And if you feel like an accountability partner, if you want to come back and look at this in 6 months or a year, drop a comment with a couple or one of your one or a couple goals you have for 2022, and we'll get after it together. Thanks, guys.